Hi there. Welcome to Intro to Women's Studies, English and Women's Studies 1080. I am Dr. Kathryn Connolly, and I am here with
Melanie V. Hill.
And we are your instructors for this class. Okay, we're really excited about the class. It's going to be a whirlwind. It's going to be done in 6 weeks. And every week we'll put together, or I'll put together a podcast to introduce you to the unit. So today, what we plan on doing is introducing ourselves for a couple of minutes. Then I'll go over the syllabus, and I'll end with a short discussion about some of the content for this unit. So, hi, Melanie.
Hi.
All right. Could you tell the class a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm Melanie V. Hill. I grew up and graduated from high school in Lander, Wyoming. So I'm a Wyoming native. I have a bachelor's degree in gender and women's studies and global and area studies. I was a McNair Scholar in 2013, so I did some research on lesbian women of color and intersectionality, which we'll learn a little bit about as we move forward with the class. And currently, I'm a part-time grad student in the MPA Masters of Public Administration program with a minor in gender and women's studies, and I'm currently a field organizer with the American Civil Liberties Union. So I work on non-discrimination issues here in Wyoming. So that's a little bit about what I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and Melanie didn't say this, but each year the university, the College of Arts and Sciences at the university names its top 20 graduates. Melanie was one of those in 2014. And I would also like to let you know that each year the university chooses the top female and the top male undergraduate graduating, and Melanie was it for 2014. And so that is a pretty incredible accomplishment that attests to her kind of scholarship as a student and also her activism here on campus and in the community. So I can't tell you how thrilled I am to have Melanie working with us. I also want to let you know that this is our encore appearance for this class. We did it together last year. It went really well, and we decided to do it again this year. We did a couple of tweaks in the class, and we hope you appreciate those. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Dr. Kathryn Connolly. I am the director of the Gender and Women's Studies program here at UW. Let's see, I have been here, believe it or not, going on 23 years. I moved to Wyoming from upstate New York, where I did a master's and PhD in sociology as well as a law degree. You'll see me in a couple of the, oops, sorry, that was my email that just beeped at us. But you'll see me in a couple of the units that we do. I've done work and do work on the gender wage gap between men and women in the state of Wyoming, as well as gay rights. So what some of you may know is that in my spare time, I serve in the Wyoming legislature as a representative from here in Laramie. Okay, let's see. Anything else about me?
I think you covered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have, you might like this, I have a 23-year-old 23, geez. He is a 29-year-old son who does stand-up comedy in New York, where his shtick is to make fun of me. Okay. And so I am a mom as well. All right. So just in general, Melanie and I have split our duties up in terms of the class a little bit. I will be responsible for any of your questions specifically related to, the content of articles, things like that. And the exams, which we'll talk more about next week, because believe it or not, your first exam is at the end of Module 2. Melanie, your jobs?
I will be moderating online discussions. I will be grading homeworks. I will be helping with any tech questions you have.
Tech.
I'm the tech guru. So if something's not working on WYO courses or Canvas platform or your email, anything, please let me know and I will get back to you promptly.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Melanie. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. So Melanie will see you online.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes going over the syllabus and then the course content. All right, so last week I sent out a syllabus because several of you had contacted me asking if there was a copy as well as what the textbook is. All right, that was a draft. I am going to upload the new syllabus, which has some tweaks in just a couple of minutes. So make sure that you kind of look at that new syllabus, which is on WIO courses. But more specifically, pay attention to the content as illustrated in each of the modules. So if there's any tweaking that goes on during the course, it will take place in the modules. Okay. And here's the biggie, and I know that I said it in the announcement as well as on the syllabus and in bold, but this is a 6-week class. A typical semester is 15 weeks. That means that every week that we're together is approximately 2.5 weeks of a regular semester. The amount of time that it will take you to complete the work is about 20 hours a week. That's a tremendous amount of time, and so please make sure that you have your time, that kind of time available to you. Okay, so a couple of kind of rules regarding the class, if you will. There won't be any extensions, okay? So make sure you will understand when things are due. So every week you will have, an initial post in a threaded discussion as well as a response to one of your classmates. Every 2 weeks, there will be a homework assignment due and there'll be an exam. So make sure that you are available to meet those kinds of deadlines. Okay, how do you do a class like this? So again, every 2 weeks there's going to be an exam. And even though I am confident when you read an article, you're going to be thrilled about it. You'll be thrilled. It'll be really interesting. It'll be intriguing. You'll believe you'll remember every detail about it in 2 weeks. The answer is you won't. All right, so I've given you some guidelines in the syllabus about how to take notes on each article, each link, each website, and I strongly, strongly encourage you to do it. I asked students last summer who did well in the class, who earned high A's in the class, what did they do? What did they do in order to kind of pass along that information to you? And the answer was simply, they did exactly what they were encouraged to do. For every article, and I'm going to encourage you to read every article at least twice. On the second time through, take detailed notes. All right, what was the author's thesis? How did he or she collect evidence to support that thesis? Right? What was the analysis? If there was a theoretical viewpoint, what theoretical viewpoint did the author take? If the author is critiquing another viewpoint, all right, how did he or she do that? Right? You need those kinds of notes for every single article. Also, you'll see that for every module, every unit, there is a list of review questions. Your exams will be drawn explicitly from those review questions, especially this first one. All right, so keep notes on every article and then answer every one of those review questions. And by answering it, I mean writing it down. All right, not just thinking in your head, oh, yeah, I know that, okay? Because again, you're not going to remember it in a couple of weeks. That's why, in part, that this will take you easily 20 hours a week to prepare. Okay, so read over the syllabus really carefully. Get yourself prepared, outline how you get in approximately 3 hours a day, 7 days a week in order to complete the work for the class. Okay? All right. So now let's move on real briefly to this first unit. And I'll be honest with you, this first unit I think is one of the toughest units. It is an overview of how do we, kind of in a university setting as scholars, think about issues of sex and gender. It's a unit that has us explore theory. Okay, the first readings have us think about who we are in the world, and then to compare it, all right, and to think differently about our place, okay, based on our demographic characteristics in comparison with others who have other demographic characteristics. So based on race, based on sex, based on age, based on ability, disability, based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Okay? So even though we live in the world with our sex and gender, we're all kind of part of, in some way or other, families or a work environment, all right? And we all have views about those things. We're now in an academic environment where we are going to kind of raise that level of discussion, of understanding, of thinking about kind of issues, right? Using theory. And that's what this section does. It has us, again, think about our place in the world. And then, all right, there is a podcast that goes over theoretical approaches, all right, to thinking about our places in the world. I want you to pay a lot of attention to that theoretical podcast as well as the readings in part 2. Okay? Now, even though of course, you can be tested on that material for this unit, and the answer to the question, are the exams cumulative, is typically no. Know that the material regarding terms, like what does sex mean, what does gender mean, what is cisgender, what does transgender mean, what is heteronormativity, those kinds of terms we're going to use throughout the semester. In addition, we will be using the theoretical constructs throughout the semester. So make sure you understand kind of the differences, the distinctions between standpoint epistemology, intersectionality, materiality, right? All of those kind of theoretical perspectives are important for understanding work that we'll deal with later in the semester in a couple of weeks when we talk about, for example, the gender wage gap between men and women. Those theoretical constructs are important. Okay, so I believe that's it. All right, I hope that you have a wonderful first week, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.